Second Life is not a game. It was never intended to be a game. It was intended to be a social experiment. There are no bosses to beat, no levels to advance, nor are there any coins to collect. Second Life is a virtual world, where you can create your world, meet people, and do all the things you are not able to in the physical world. That is why it is not a game. The first noob mistake is having the mindset that Second Life is a game. To be a better noob, realize that Second Life is not a game. Do not insult people by referring to Second Life as a game.
Greetings and welcome to another video. In this video, I am going to talk about the whole noobing experience in Second Life. Recently, I was reminded what it is like to be a noob, having invested some helping time into a newly arrived, freshly spawned noob into Second Life, of whom was encouraged to join Second Life because of my channel. Well, as we know, when a person joins something new, they are bombarded with all new things that they've never encountered before, especially in Second Life when the overwhelming amount of graphics and bodies and newness and all of these things you could do, driving, riding, shopping, role playing, encountering people that you wouldn't otherwise do so in the physical world, encountering situations that you never thought the human body could be put in such positions. You're able to learn and teach others. There's educational aspects. I've known people over the years that English was not their native tongue, but they learned English and was good at it, all because they learned it through Second Life. So obviously, just in the few mentions I've already stated, there is a lot of good in Second Life, but there is also the bad. And because I'm a realist by nature, I'm not going to blow up the whole noob experience as some wondrous journey of finding yourself and finding those that you click with to as to be a perfect thing. It's not. It isn't. It is not. When you have a noob that comes into Second Life and they get a mentor or someone who takes on the job of helping a noob, that noob shall feel dependent at first, onto the mentor, asking lots of questions and trying to understand everything, right? And each noob is different. Each noob will be able to determine their own things that they would like to learn first. And other noobs, mostly the majority of them, will want to learn the basics from the get go. Now, it depends on the mentor of the noob as to how they guide this noob through their first couple of weeks or maybe even months through Second Life. Having a willing and earnest noob with the ability to hold concepts that they may not be familiar with, the ability to understand things that are spoken in text and in voice and shown using prims or what have you is really important. As a mentor, you do not want to waste your time with someone who just wants to do things in SL because of inner desires, we shall say. It's all well and good to have the intention of helping someone, and it can be a rewarding experience. But at the end of the day, if you start to develop some type of emotional connection with this noob, and you are expected more than this noob knows that they should return, then that's a problem. My advice is don't get involved emotionally with a noob because you'll end up annoyed and frustrated. And it does not matter if they're older than you. It it doesn't matter if they proclaim themselves to be one way when you speak with them outside of Second Life in voice or whatever. What really matters is how they return or not return whatever treatment that you may or may not be expected, how they return that to you in Second Life. Because if you meet someone in Second Life, well, it is natural to assume, to expect that that relationship will continue to grow, friendship, relationship, just generalizing relationship here, will continue to grow in Second Life, right? But if you think you can have like a side relationship on another platform and yet think it's totally okay to avoid one another in Second Life, I think that's a problem. It annoys the hell out of me because I don't want to have to jump from SL to Discord and back and forth. And it's just like, okay, I'm starting to feel like a closet secret. So just keep that in mind if you're a female, because for the most part, it is the man's job to pursue the female. It is not the female's job to pursue the man. It's editing me. I just want to interject this part of the video because I want to make a disclaimer. When I said it is up to the man to pursue the female, it is not to the female to pursue a man. That is based on my own conservative and traditional beliefs. Obviously, people are going to do what they're going to do, but that is how I believe it to be. That is how I was raised. I make no bones about that. If you do not agree with that, that is your absolute right. But do not give me a hard time for being a conservative, traditional female. Moving on back to the video. And if a man doesn't pursue you after all that has been said and done, then do you really want that coward of a man in your SL? No, you do not. No, no, you do not. So, so in closing, I will say, if you have the mental strength and the patience and the knowledge to help a noob without falling victim to their seduction of wonder, because it is possible to fall victim and to be in that sort of lustful daze when you see the joy and the revelations of another person who has experienced Second Life for the first time. And yeah, as an oldie, we all get wrapped up in that expression of joy, and it makes us feel nostalgic, and we all love to feel nostalgic. Perhaps there's a little bit of overthinking that I'm doing here, but after 17 years of being in Second Life, I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, I've met a lot of very different people, I've been in a lot of very different situations, and all I know is what I've experienced. And to sum it all up, that which is new is like a baby. And as humans, if you're so inclined, we are a sucker for a baby. We hear a baby cry. It's not our baby, but it's like, oh, especially if you're a female, right? It's embedded into us. So when you have a noob, it is a baby. And don't take on all the responsibility. Don't do it. It takes a village to raise a noob. Don't feel obligated. Don't feel that it's your sole job to help this person, regardless of how they came to you for help, right? Just know that the newness will wear off, the novelty will disappear, and you, as a mentor, will no longer be needed. That's just how it is. So when you take on a noob, realize that them, you're just a helper to them. You're just that first step. You're you may not be with them the rest of the way because anything can happen. They can change their path, they can change their motivations or what have you. Just teach the noobs the basics and get on with your life. Nowadays, we're we're all just NPCs to noobs. We're all just characters in a quote unquote game. And you can't teach a noob that that's not true. You can't teach a noob that we all have feelings. You cannot change the mindset of someone that comes to SL for the first time and still calls SL a game, no matter how many times you have corrected them and told them that it's a virtual world, it is not a game, and proceed to explain why it is not a game. If they're already in that game mindset, just show them the basics and get out. Trust me, you don't want to continue to be around that type of person that has that mindset that you're just a toy. You don't have feelings and they can just, you know, whatever. Because we all have feelings. We all have feelings. That is the end of that monologue. Now, this is the start of the Noob Experience series for the channel. A couple of weeks ago, I asked you all for your noob experiences, and I am going to proceed to do a video on that where I will read the noob experiences and, make comments on them. Don't worry, nice comments. The second video is going to be more lighter, right? Because we were all noobs, and the majority of those who submitted their noob experiences are we're pretty much all the same age, right? So it's going to be a lot of nostalgia, maybe a little tear here and there from laughing. It'll be good to share that. And hopefully, those that consider SL opposite of how we consider SL, maybe they'll get it. Who knows? That's going to be it from me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.